Welcome to the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast, the podcast where we make 5-minute decisions that can change your business, your relationships, and your life. Hey, this is Dean Soto, founder of prosulum.com, prosulum.com, and freedomin5minutes.com. And we're here for another Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast episode. Today's topic is this: making the decision to be real. That and more coming up. All right, cool. So you're going to hear some traffic in the background. I am at a park with 3 of my lovely, wonderful kids. If you can hear them, can you hear them? Say hi, guys. Say hi. So the 3 of my lovely angels. While the wife was away, I thought, while we're waiting for her to come home, might as well go to the park and have some fun. Good decision, because they are loving it. They are loving this park. So I had an interesting topic for today, and the reason for it is because I had a really cool experience with a friend of mine. It was yesterday and led into today as well. But this morning, it had to be like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I haven't been sleeping very well, so I've been waking up kind of at all of these different weird times. And I got an email So my friend, he's amazing. I've known him for a long time. And he sent me an email of one of his journal entries. So a while back, we were talking with each other, and he was basically facing some burnout, right? Basically facing the idea that especially a lot of guys go through. I don't know if women do. I'm sure there are some, but it seems like it's definitely with guys, because I'm one of those guys that have had it happen, and I know a ton of people. But he confided in me that there was a lot of things that just were not going as well as he would like. And so I started sharing with him some of the things that I've been doing recently, especially with the Warrior book stuff, the Wake Up Warrior, the stuff that I've just absolutely loved over the last few months, and has really transformed how I do things. But here's a guy who he emails me a journal entry from some of the things that I've been sharing with him, and he is just he is totally 100% transparent in this email. And part of it was because I shared with him an audio on being real. And we, especially guys, but Americans in general, and I would say most other cultures too, because I've been to a lot of Asian cultures. I've been to Japan, I've been there for a while, and we have a habit, or we've been taught essentially to lie. What do we say every time we go and shop? We get to the teller, or we get to the person who's checking us out, and they say, "Hey, how's everything going?" We say, "Good. Oh, everything's well. I'm great. Everything's fantastic." While at home, your wife is mad at you, or your husband is mad at you. Your marriage is on the rocks. Business sucks. You're not able to connect with your kids. You're not able to connect spiritually, and so on. But we still say good, right? Because we want to portray this idea that we are not having any problems whatsoever, no issues. And we see this happen a lot in social media. And so when I got this email from him, it was so cool. And he shared with me different journal entries in the past, but it was super real. It was, yes, my sweetness, you need to go to the bathroom? Okay, there's a bathroom over here. It was super real, just like that right there, and laid out a lot of the things that he needed to take responsibility for. And it just blew me away. And it was cool because it was also a mirror. It's not that I'm the most, I'm not the person who is like the epitome of being 100% real, you know, because there are a lot of things, even as I do these podcasts, certain things, like if I talk about the Wake Up Warrior stuff or the Warrior Book stuff, there's something inside of me. There is a, it's okay. You're gonna hear an echo in here, but okay, go ahead. You'll be fine. Go ahead and sit. Okay, then you're gonna have to go pee outside. Go in the grass. It's not going to flush by itself. I have it. It's not going to flush by itself. All right, talk about real. This is real. In a bathroom with one of my children. Anyway, and no, I'm not going to edit this out. This is kind of weird, but whatever. So the even with the Wake Up Warrior stuff, there's that scarce mentality that I have where it's kind of like, no, I don't want them to go and check out something other than my podcast. I want them to go to freedomin5minutes.com, or I want them to go to prosulam.com and get my stuff, and so on. And it's something to go. Wash your hands. Ooh, weird. Okay, there you go. All right, cool, interesting. But there, okay, have fun. Go run to the park. So I start thinking that I need to hide that. I need to hide it. It is weird. It's a weird thing. And okay, thank you. Go ahead. You can run there. I'm not alone because I'm doing a podcast. Love you. So for me, it's actually hard for me to be real as well, because, you know, even think about with business, right? With a podcast like this, the goal of the podcast is to okay, that looks awesome. Okay, Daddy's doing a podcast. Let me see. Go ahead. Wow, good job. Okay, Daddy's going to do a podcast, okay? The goal of these podcasts, even like right there, I have in the back of my head that people are going to think that's stupid. That's going to be like, why am I listening to this guy? He's talking to his kids and so on and so forth. The goal of the podcast ultimately is to get business, right? It's to develop a personal brand. It's to develop a following and a community that ultimately benefits you guys, but also benefits me as well. I mean, let's be honest, right? And so with these podcasts in the back of my mind, every single thing that happens or a story that I want to tell, there's almost like a filter that comes through. There's almost a filter that where I start thinking, oh, well, if I frame it this way, then it's going to sound more business-like, and people are going to want to be a part of that. They're going to want to come to prosulam.com and get a virtual assistant, or they're going to want to go to freedom5minutes.com and get on my email list. Well, here's the deal. And then the last thing, actually, before we even get into that, is the last thing is that with podcasts like this, one of the temptations is to act like I am further ahead than I really am, right? Further ahead than I really am. And And that, obviously, that's not authentic if I'm saying, oh yeah, I'm a multi-trillionaire, multi-millionaire, or whatever, or I try and get that persona. For me, I'm an entrepreneur. I enjoy a life where I can take my kids out at any point in time. I live in the country on 20 acres. Got a couple of investment properties, got a lot of things going on, and got some happy clients, a lot of happy clients but one of my goals is to have this next year is to deploy 200 additional virtual assistants, 200 additional virtual assistants. So that is, the reality is that, that I'm at a certain place where I feel the desire to grow and to expand and so on and so forth. And where I can live an entrepreneurial life, but it's not like I'm a millionaire. It's not like I'm a multimillionaire or anything like that. So why is this important? It's important because you really cannot develop any type of connection, whether it be in sales, whether it be in your family, whether it be with your friends, whether it be even with your spirituality or even with fitness, things like that. You cannot develop a deep, deep, deep relationship with anybody or anything unless you're first honest with yourself, unless you're first real with yourself and you're real with them. Right? We all have acquaintances. They don't know half as much as maybe your spouse does. But often, even our spouse doesn't know nearly as much as they should about you. If you want more sales, at least this is what I found, be honest. Be honest. There are plenty of times when I tell someone, I don't think it's a good fit. Or I tell someone, hey, I don't think, I can do this thing. We might be experimenting, but if you're okay with experimenting and seeing if it actually works, then we can move forward. And that honesty brings about a deep, deep relationship and helps me, at least, to make more sales. And it's something that I'm going to be working on in 2019. So if you would like to join me in this, here's your action step. I just want you to take out a piece of paper, like a notepad or notebook or something like that, and just write out the things that you are afraid to share with everybody else. You don't have to share it with anybody, but at least own up to it. At least fess up to it, to yourself. I do this a lot now. That a lot of this has to do with the warrior book stuff. But at least own up to it for yourself. The feelings that you have about certain people, the feelings that you have about certain things. It can be your likes, it could be your dislikes, it could be whatever you want it to be, but just write it down and be honest. Be honest with yourself. And it's going to be the first step in at least realizing and noticing. Noticing is so powerful. Just noticing things about yourself that you might actually have just ignored. Things that you ignore. And this is the first step in being able to do something and to have massive results in the future. All right, so this is Dean Soto with freedomin5minutes.com. Go check that out, freedomin5minutes.com. Join the email list there. We're going to have a lot of awesome community stuff coming up. And then if you like this podcast, do me a huge favor and give me a review. If you don't like this podcast, go ahead and do that too. I don't care. But give me a review, and it'll help others to be connected and to benefit from this as well. So, and if you ever want a virtual assistant, a premium virtual assistant, you can go to prosulum.com, prosulum.com. All right, so this is Dean Soto with Freedom in 5 Minutes, and I will see you in the next episode.